Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Humble Sheep Ministries, where you get built up, edified, and encouraged in your faith. Today's message is about the gospel, the message of salvation, the message of hope. Paul says in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone." It is the power of God that brings salvation to anyone who receives this message of hope. You know, when I went to church, before fully surrendering to God, I would hear the preacher at the end of the message saying, if you would like to give your life to Christ, lift up your hands and say a prayer after me. And I would say that prayer, but I would go and leave that church going back living the same way. So if I would say a prayer and leave the church going the same way, living the same way, then that means that is not the power of God. Because the power of God transforms you. The power of God gives you understanding of how worthy and holy and just worthy to be praised and to follow. So when Paul says that we are not ashamed of the gospel, then he means that we should be in a place in our life that we're willing to surrender to God and follow him, truly follow him. And you may be asking, like, how can I follow God? Look at me. I'm a mess. All you have to do is go to God as you are, and the power of God will transform you. The power of God will give you new desires. The power of God will give you understanding of who he is and how worthy he is, because he loves us. You know, when you're in a relationship with someone, you seek to please them, you seek to make them happy. You're very intentional when you are around that person. You love that person and you have a respect for that person. You know, yes, Jesus is the way for us to go to heaven, but the gospel message is about having a personal relationship with God. Because remember, we were all sinners, separated from God. But when you hear the message and you put your faith in what God said, you tend to understand that, yes, God died for me. Yes, he came to suffer the punishment that I should have suffered. But why? And the reason why, as I stated earlier, is for us to have a personal relationship with him. Not just one way, but a two-way relationship where you see the goodness of God and the things that he reveals to you about himself and about the plans that he has for your life. And also you loving him in his love language, because God has a love language too. So Paul says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. You being a Christian shouldn't be ashamed of the gospel. You know, the people in the world, they show that they worship the devil so boldly. Why wouldn't we be bold in our worship, in our relationship with God? You may look at me and say, man, look at her. She's talking about God. She's living for God. You are a Christian too. You can be bold for God. You can live a life and have a relationship with God too. I'm no different from you. God is calling you too to be part of his family, fully representing him properly. If you have children or family that leaves your house and people know that they carry your name, would you want them to go out embarrassing you? Would you want them go out, making you look bad and things like that? No. You want your kids to honor you and represent you in a way that you can feel proud. Like, yeah, I raised that child of mine. That's my baby. That's how I feel about my daughter. She go out, I know that she's going to honor me in the way she act in public. So it's the same thing with God. We shouldn't be ashamed of the gospel of Christ because it's the power that saved us. It is the power that reconciled us back to God so we can have a personal relationship with him. So, yes, you may have said that salvational prayer and you say, I am a Christian. But my question for you is, are you really walking with God? Or are you choosing to keep certain parts of your life and choosing to walk in the desires of your heart versus truly surrendering your life? To be a true disciple of Christ and a true child of God, we have crosses to carry in this world. Jesus carried his cross and he denied himself. And we too have to walk in the power of God and deny ourselves so that people can truly distinguish the children of God and the people that's in the world. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ because he saved me. He saved me in my self-righteousness. He saved me when I was trying to figure out life on my own. He saved me. I'm not ashamed. There's healing, there's freedom, there's restoration, there is hope. But you gotta come to the cross and not be ashamed, and not worry about what everybody else got to say. So what? You love God? Go to him, follow him, and pick up your cross. And don't be ashamed. I pray that this message bless you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.